Ahoy! And welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick. The Boating Hour brings you the latest and greatest essential information about everything that sails, floats, or motors upon the high seas of Southern California. From landlubbers to old salts, there'll be something for everyone. So climb aboard and get ready to sail with Captain Rick.
Ahoy out there and welcome to the Boating Hour. I'm Captain Rick and I want to thank you for joining us here on AM 870. We're here every Saturday at 4 p.m. and please be sure to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com. And now all over social media on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, the best probiotic on the market, Livia One Probiotics, natural, organic, and allergen-free. For those of you that are first-time firearms owners or would like to be, want to find about training, competition, education, and knowledge, the NRA Westside Members Council is sponsoring a Women on Target. This is specifically for women, for first-time firearms owners or those that would like to be. So email Captain Rick at theboatinghour.com, and I'll get you a discount voucher. And this is for people that are interested in home defense, want to get some knowledge and education. First-time firearms owners, very important to be educated, knowledgeable, and to know all the very important safety, all the safety precautions, because the answer to gun violence and to the accidents is training, education, and knowledge. So the NRA Members Council coming up in October, NRA Members Council sponsoring a Women on Target for first-time firearms owners or those that would like to be. Email Captain Rick at theboatinghour.com. If you're interested, someone will contact you, and you will be thrilled. And we have a wonderful guest for you today. You know, I wished everybody a Happy New Year. We're now, the New Year is over, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for the Jewish community. I hope everybody had a great Happy New Year. We're now into the Harvest Festival, so Sukkot. So it's a joyous holiday for everybody, so I want to wish everybody out there having a wonderful time at Sukkot. And we had a wonderful guest last week, couple of emails. I'm going to forward the emails to our fish report, Captain Dave. So we had a wonderful show last week. Couple of people followed up. So I will forward those emails to him, and we'll definitely have him back again. People ask for the fish report quite a bit. But I got a wonderful guest for you today. I'm really excited to invite Danny from Just Ride LA. Thanks for joining Captain Rick on the Boating Hour.
Yeah, thanks for having me. How's it going?
Oh, excellent. Wonderful. So you got a really exciting venture, your business. I've looked at the photos. I'm going to put a nice link on the website, theboatinghour.com. And you make me want to be a young kid again. As an old codger like me, can I get out there and jump on these things and get out in the water?
Absolutely. We've taught as young as 14 and as old as 78. So age is just a number.
Okay, I
yeah.
like that. It's really wonderful. So tell me about Just Ride LA and what it is that you do, and tell me about this family-owned business, and tell me how I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions, how you got into it, the events that you're having, and plug your website a couple of times.
Totally, yeah. So Just Ride LA, we started back in 2008 out of our parents' garage, just kind of helping different people in the neighborhood fix their bikes. We were selling some single suites, selling some cruisers, and then that just kind of exploded into our own shop in downtown LA. We're right off of the Grand exits at 1626 South Hill Street. And our website is also justridela.com. On Instagram, we're Just Ride LA. We started off as a tiny little shop, about 1,000 square feet, doing just repairs, custom fixies, custom cruisers. And then from there, it just kind of grew. Got Giant bicycles, Brompton bicycles were some of their top retailers in the nation. It's been kind of crazy. Then a couple years went by, and back in 2015, more or less, we're like, oh, what are these things called one wheels? These are wild. We were the first to bring those in. Electric scooters, e-bikes. If it's fun as hell for on land, we've probably done it or have attempted to bring it in to offer it to people. And then fast forward to 2019, I was like, what are these flying surfboards? What is going on? And discovered that on Instagram, funny enough, shot them a message. Long story short, ended up getting on some of the very first ones. They started hitting the market around 2018, and then actual production ones ended 2019, so my timing was pretty spot on. And they look very difficult and crazy and wacky, but they were so much easier than I thought. I took one out actually in the marina out of Mother's Beach. I don't know if I do that today, but this is almost 5 years ago. I got up flying right away on foil, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. Because the ocean is really my true passion. I did some open water diving, snorkeling, a little bit of boogie boarding, a little bit of surfing. Just wasn't a crazy fan of the lineups in LA. So hydrofoils has been honestly, life-changing for sure.
You're in good company. The entire surf industry started out in their garage, and I've had a few legends on, from Rip Curl to all the legends. Actually, you pretty much go down the line, for the last century. So they all started out in their garage. The whole surfing industry, shaping boards, and Hobie started out that way. And so you're in
amazing.
good company.
Yeah.
So you started it. That's really exciting. So you're not just e-foiling boards on the water. You do all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. So our main thing is still bicycles. So road bikes, folding bikes, electric bikes, out of Just Ride LA. And then when I met Flightboard back in end of 2019, early 2020, they're like, oh, this is perfect. You can totally help us with service. Because if you can imagine, new technology, salt water, a lot of electricity, there's going to be some service needs. So we took that on, and we've been doing all their servicing, almost, most of the servicing for the whole U.S. Up until about a year or two ago, where more people came on board. But it's been a crazy journey.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. I looked at one of your folding bikes. It looked like it came in a case that was about waist high, and that's a perfect to throw aboard your boat when you're traveling.
Totally.
Yeah, are you getting a lot of boat customers throwing that in one of their hatches when some of the the cruisers that cruise around? Is that a popular bike for the boaters?
Yeah, the Bromptons are amazing. You can fold them up; they're tiny. A lot of the catamaran owners really like them. Sailboat owners like them. Even pilots, because it's the one plane that It's the one bike that you can carry on onto a commercial flight. The Bromptons have been incredible.
Wow, I can't even imagine the idea of a folding bike. I was an old Schwinn guy.
There you go. And that's the crazy part. The folding bikes look, like they don't ride that well, but Bromptons have been blown away. They're British engineering at its finest. They've been made in the UK since the 80s, and they ride really damn well.
Wow. That is amazing. Are you doing any events or plan to do any events or coordinate with some of the sailing clubs? I mean, I could help you with that. I'm events up and down the coast, and I don't know if you've listened to the show. I've had everybody from the harbor master of Catalina to a couple that wanted to escape COVID. They were having problems. Each one of them. This is a funny story. They were dock neighbors. And both of them had significant other difficulties. So they decided as friends to just get away from COVID for about a month. They ended up going out. They were out like 8 months at sea. They came back. They had the little doggy. And I just had them on the show again. Sean's my good friend, and Marissa with their little doggy, Coco. They ended up coming back, and they're getting married now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Well, amongst sailors that race, usually when you're on a long race, even over the weekend, couple days, you don't want to see your sailing partners for a little while. I've known people that have gone to Transpac, and when they come back and they say, leave me alone for a while. That was an exciting story, and they're rebuilding. It was a great show. But I've had all kinds of people. I featured the Coast Guard. Of course, the goal of the show started out as promoting the activities up and down the coast at all the sailing clubs. Sounds like you're going through a wave. Are you out there surfing on your board right now?
I wish. No, sorry, we had a little jet that flew over. But yeah, no, I mean, with events, that's a great point. Like, we've done quite a few. We've been involved in some races, some events where we had people just come and do we call it like a taste of flight.
Okay.
So definitely, I can give you our next event coming up.
When's your next event coming up?
Most likely sometime around Halloween.
Okay.
Like a themed, we're going to be doing a Brompton costume ride, which would be really cool. So a bunch of people on these little folding bikes riding around. And we're probably going to do a very similar concept on the flying surfboards. Potentially a moonlit ride, which is so much fun. So we did that back on July 4th, met up around 6:30, dropped into the Banda Creek, went out the mouth of the harbor, and then the full moon was just insane around, 8 o'clock, right when it hit the horizon. We're definitely tune into Just Foil LA on our Instagram or Just Ride LA. And I'll definitely be posting it on there, and I'll for sure send you more details.
Yeah, send me some good stuff so I can post on the website. So your website is Just Ride LA. That's justridela.com?
Yes.
And then your Instagram is what's your Instagram again?
Yes, our Instagram handle is Just Ride LA as well. That's like our main account. And then for everything for the water, it's justfoilla.com. JUSTFOILLA.com. So for the longest, we were doing everything under Just Ride LA. But a couple of years ago, we're like, you know what? The flightboard side is really growing, and it's so special on its own. So then we created its own website, its own Google page, its own Instagram, some cool T-shirts, some cool stickers. So yeah, just kind of growing that. It's been awesome.
I got to ask you this. I'm looking at the great photos that you have. Looks really exciting. How difficult? I mean, it looks so easy in the pictures. You've got someone. It almost looks like flying, on the surfboard, and they're foiling, which is a whole new concept to me. You see that now in the America's Cup with the big boats. And how difficult is it? Do you got to be a natural-born athlete and in great shape to get on the board and get up there on the foil?
No, so here, see, that's the interesting part. Like, even myself, I work out almost every day. I weight train. I did karate. I have a yoga background. Like, I'm as active as I could possibly be. And even me, when I saw it, I was like, this looks so difficult, so intimidated by it because it's so different. It's so foreign. But it's really just a matter of, starting on your belly, getting going with some power under you, popping up on your knees, slowly coming up to foil, coming back down, coming up, coming down. We call those touch and goes. And then once you get comfortable with that, then you stand up and stay on foil for a longer period of time. Obviously, we're not going to start you off on an ultra, which is 4 foot 2 inches.
Okay.
Getting up on that is way more difficult. But we have a 6 foot board, we have a 5 foot 8 board, and very recently, as a matter of a couple months ago, and the first production of them finally landed in the U.S. and globally this week. Funny enough, is called the Flight Scooter. So imagine that same technology with handlebars. So now it's made it even easier for anyone.
Wow.
Because the funny story for me is, with my girl, and apparently I'm not the only one. A lot of the guys I foil with, same thing. A lot of the girls are not comfortable in the water, women, partners, whatever you want to call it, their significant others. And the scooter is kind of going to open that up for them. So that's like I want to say almost 7-foot board.
Okay.
It's like about 170 liters for those of you who are familiar with that. So super stable. You can just walk on it, grab the handlebars, full throttle, lean back, and you're flying. And it's amazing because it gives you like that weightlessness, feeling that foils are so, amazing about. And all I want to do is ride foils now.
Really? So it feels like you're flying when you're on the foils, right?
Exactly. And I have a running joke. It's like, Jesus said he walked on water, but we actually walk on water.
That's amazing. I go to Mother's Beach in Marina Del Rey. I've got good friend Tim, who's actually been on the show, and he rents out and gives lessons for the paddle boards. But in Mother's Beach, and I've been invited to do this now, they're doing yoga on paddle boards. And so I said, that looks so difficult. And she told me, she says, they've got beginners that this is the first time they've done yoga, the first time they've done paddleboarding, and no one falls very rarely. People do periodically. It's a lot of fun. But she said, Neil, you'll have no problem. What's your background? How did you come up with starting to do this in your garage? And is this something you always wanted to do? But tell me a little bit about your background. Where did you grow up, and how did you get into this business?
Yeah, totally. So, born and raised in L.A.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, very, very close. So, West L.A., went to Santa Monica High School, got kicked out for buying pot.
Oh, my goodness.
To this day, I take pride in that because it was such a good nug of weed. But that's a whole different conversation. We'll save that for another day. But, yeah, then I went to Palisades High School.
Okay.
Had a blast there. Really played even more in the water at that point. And then I went to a yoga farm to actually teach yoga. I went there for about 2-3 months, did a little bit of community college. I was like, you know what, school is really not my thing. I love yoga. I love being active. And at the same time, I was training competitively in karate. And I taught karate for a little bit. And then, came back from the yoga farm. The bike shop had kind of started, they kind of moved it from the garage to a physical space in downtown LA. Then the rest is history. Now we're about 6,000 square feet in downtown, the big warehouse, big floor. And then the e-foil side of the business really started to take off right at the beginning of COVID.
Really?
And as we're booming in the bicycle side of the business, we went 7X. It was kind of insane. I'm also kind of growing this new, kind of like a passion that turned into a business itself because it's amazing. There's really no feeling like it. I still can't believe what the hell is happening.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This
Flightboard
really
has killed it. Yeah.
And it looks so exciting. Surfing is kind of difficult to get into and to stay into it.
Right.
It's a difficult concept. It's fun when you're in that environment, and sometimes you're not welcome. When you're a newbie coming onto a new beach.
Exactly.
And, you've got the surf gangs, but it's difficult to carry your board around, and there's only certain places you can go, and you want to make sure you got the right waves and this is adding a whole new thing for young kids and adults. You got a lot of youngsters out there. You getting mostly teenagers or adults? What's the standard group?
Yeah, so generally speaking, 13, 14 is our youngest age.
Okay.
On paper, but if the parents are really cool, they sign off on it. We took someone as young as 10 the other day because some of these 9, 10-year-olds are so mature. They're really respectful, good kids, good parents. As long as we have the parents out in the water with them, and they don't have that fear that a lot of adults get later on.
Yeah.
So they're flying immediately. And it's awesome, honestly. A lot of older surfers too, who have injuries or just can't, paddle out as hard, are finding e-foils to be a great solution because it opens up the ocean completely.
Right.
In areas that, I always tell people if you've paddleboarded, this is easier than paddleboarding.
Really? Okay.
It's just more of for lack of a better word, a mind because you're
Yes.
floating above the water.
Sure. I've paddle boarded. I've dabbled in. I am a amateur at almost everything from surfing to sailing to karate.
There you go.
Dabbled in the arts myself, but I think I'm a white belt, maybe a blue belt in 7 different. So
there you go.
Yeah, but
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, this is kind of exciting, and maybe I can work with you to bring this out to some of the clubs.
Totally.
A lot of kids in. A week before the Super Bowl, I helped sponsor the Super Bowl regatta at the Santa Monica Windjammers Yacht Club, and it's now about 90 boats out there. 150 people show up. It's one of their marquee events. So maybe I can coordinate something that weekend. Get you out there and introduce it to the club and get the kids in marina. I grew up coming to the marina. The Sea Scout base was very active, and there were thousands of kids. The schools used to make trips to Marina Del Rey, and they had an arcade for the kids. And the Marina Del Rey has changed a little bit, so it's kind of a little bit difficult. So let's get you out there and get you introduced to the families and the kids during the lockdowns and starting 2020, when the world was shut down. The clubs were getting members. It was one of the few things people could do, get out in the boats, and now there's like a new life. So I'd love to be involved. I'd love to feature you on the show. You got to get me some nice stuff to put up on the website. So I'll do that with what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and let's keep in touch. I'm very interested in that. I want to get out there and experience it myself. I'm not sure which one I'm going to get. I got to get the advanced amateur board.
There you go. So probably what would put you on, even myself, like it was a 5 foot, it was called the standard.
Okay.
5 foot 6 inches, 100 liters, full carbon fiber, very stable cruiser wing is what we call it. So I'm more than confident I'll get you up the first time, probably flying within 20 minutes. And then the most amazing part is the first time you're going to get up, get a taste of it, then you're going to dream about it. This happens to 9 out of 10 of my students.
All right.
The next day, they're like, oh, my gosh, I literally was having dreams about it. Because it's such a different feeling, like nothing you've ever felt. Even like a plane, like, you go up in the air, you feel like the weightlessness for a second, but then it's very stable. But this is like you have control of, a very maneuverable plane. Because that's really what hydrofoils are. We're using propulsion to get us onto the lift, to stand on this platform on airplane wings underwater.
God, that is so exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. And I want to thank you for coming on the show. So Just Right LA, go to Just Right LA. I'll have a nice link on the Boating Hour website and on Instagram as well.
Thank you.
That was really wonderful. Danny, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing this with us. I'm really excited about this, and you've got a customer, and I want to help you promote this.
There we go.
And get you involved. Yeah, this is really wonderful.
And before I forget, our new account, Just Foil LA, for all things water. Yeah, if you follow both, you guys can keep in touch with us for sure.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you so
awesome.
much for the time.
That's great. Yeah. And definitely send me something. I'll put this up on the website.
I can't wait to get you flying. We're going to get you flying soon.
I am excited. Well, that's all the time that we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed our show. As always, we're so very fortunate to have such wonderful and exciting guests. And let's not forget the Coasties, protecting our waters, America's lifesavers and guardians of the sea. Remember, if you do it right and follow the guidelines and safety precautions, there's no place like being out on the water in the fresh air and sunshine in beautiful, sunny Southern California. Here at the Boating Hour with Captain Rick, we cover everything that sails, motors, and floats from San Diego to Santa Barbara. And boy, are we so very fortunate to have such wonderful and exciting guests. I want to thank Danny for coming on right now and sharing this with us. So thanks for being with us today. Please be sure to join us next week and every Saturday at 4 p.m. on AM 870. Thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, Livia One Probiotics. Don't forget to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com and now all over social media on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. The Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Keep your emails coming. This is Captain Rick saying ahoy and fair winds to all.